Well, hey, welcome to the G.A.M.E podcast. That's Geeks Actively Making Entertainment. I am here today with two other dudes. I've got a man of the seven seas with the most beautiful beard I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never actually seen his beard. How's it going, Captain Beardy?
You know.
That was full of enthusiasm. We're great. It's excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here, Paul.
Thanks. I don't know who Paul is, but how's it going, EO?
It's good. It's been a while since I've spoke to you, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. When was our last podcast?
It was about a week ago.
Oh, okay. It hasn't been that long then. Doesn't matter. Ignore
Well, I
me.
mean, technically we did talk to each other a little bit ago as we tried to join each other on a game of League of Legends, but that didn't really work out.
No, it didn't. I kind of forgot about that, but you know, we're just going to pretend I didn't forget about that, because I'm not an idiot.
Well, speaking of that, Neo, what kind of games have you been playing this week?
A damn lot of League of Legends, and I'm still smashing that Warframe.
Nice. Last time you were talking about you were getting pretty heavy into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was already pretty heavy into it. I've been playing it for a couple of years, so.
So you're a veteran. You are the chief Warframe executive here within game, is what you're telling me.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah, sure.
Well, we're all happy to have you here with your Warframe experience.
Oh, thank you.
I
hope my expertise come in handy one day.
Any other games besides those two you've been touching up on?
No, not really. Just them two.
I think you were talking about it before. You just can't get enough of it.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of addicted, slightly, maybe.
Well,
it's probably not good for me. I need to do something about it.
I wouldn't know. I don't know what it is.
You've never heard of Warframe
You've
before?
never heard of it? What?
All right, well, we're not going to get into this. So instead, Captain, what have you been playing? Or do you prefer Beardy? Do you prefer Captain? Capitano?
Sexy, your lord, Bob. I don't know. Any will do.
All right,
Women
I'm
just
go
call me
Sexy
thanks.
Lord Bob.
What have I been playing? Fuck. Okay, so I did a build in Minecraft, which is going to be up on my channel. That's at Beardy if you want to find me on Instagram or anything like that. But got to plug the channel. But I just put in 4 days of work,
Nice.
equaling about 40 hours to build a fucking library in Minecraft, which I swear to God, at the end of it, I wanted to kill not only myself, but Minecraft itself.
Did you fill it with actual books that you wrote?
Oh yeah, it's 100 by 100 by 60, and each wall is filled with books going up. So that's 100 across, 60 down, and it was just a ball ache. And then on top of it, so this is a big hole that I built, right?
Yeah.
So it's a big hole that's 100 in length and then 60 deep, and then I covered the top of it and then built a library which has a secret under the Scooby-Doo style staircase entrance to get into the so it was it'll be up tomorrow, so you can watch it then, and that's Monday.
That's awesome.
For everyone. There's two videos. I've got my one how I built it, and then me doing a tour of it. But apart from that, I've just been doing Rainbow Six Siege, bit of Titanfall 2. Did I play anything else? Brawl Force is amazing.
Ooh, that's one I haven't touched in a while.
Brawl Force mode. Brawl Force. Apart from that, not much.
So this Minecraft build that you were doing, was it for a contest, just your own personal enjoyment?
Well, see, I used to play Minecraft on the PC before
Yeah.
my PC was and died.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, it's still here with us now, but I mean, since all the games get updates, my computer is 11 years old now, so it can't keep up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I had to stop playing it on the PC. But I did a build last week for an enchanting table, which was a sun temple that had sunken under a mountain, kind of like fucking Atlantis,
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was like, I really like doing these builds. But when I played it on the PC, I made the same library, so it was still deep underground and stuff, which was actually 200 by 200 by 200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which took me so long to do, and I was so pleased when it did, and then it burnt down on me, which was pretty funny.
Well, I hope you did all that in creative mode.
Oh yeah, no, the one I did because I'm on PS4 now, so the one I did, the build that I've just done, which will be up tomorrow, I did in creative mode, and I turned fire spreads off. So if one thing set on fire, I was like, I'll just replace the block that burned down. So I was like, thank God. There was magma hiding in the walls that was a block apart.
Oh,
so
you would have lost the whole thing.
It tried. Before I turned fire spreads off, it tried to burn itself down because there was a bit of lava just hiding behind a wall. And then I spotted it really quickly, put it all out, turned fire spreads off, destroyed the lava, and then I was like, right, fire spreads is going off, and then that was it. And I think I did one day I went from like 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. just doing work.
Well, I'm gonna have to check this out because that sounds like it's gonna be pretty awesome to see.
Yeah,
and so you said it took you 4 days to do?
It was over 4 days. I did about 30 to 40 hours, I think.
Oh wow!
So it's about 10 hours a day.
You sir are a champion.
No, I'm just very bored.
Well, for myself personally, I haven't really gotten around to playing too much games. I've been working a little bit more than I have wanted to, but I recently sat down. We got the Steam Link hooked up in the place I live, and me and a couple roommates, we sat down to play some Overcooked, and my God, is that a fun game. Have you guys heard of Overcooked?
I don't know, I've never heard of it.
It's this couch co-op game where you're basically cooking food and assembling it. So you've got anywhere from yourself to 3 other people, and you've got to go and like chop up vegetables, ground up some beef, fry it up, make burgers, do all these different things. But each level is different, where sometimes you're separated and split up from each other. So there may be one person that has to go and collect the different vegetables that you need for the different orders, throw it on a table, so someone else can go and grab them, chop them up, and then give them back so that he can then go and assemble them in the burger and deliver it to the people. And it's crazy, some of the different levels. There's my 2 favorite ones were there's this one where your restaurant is split into 2 vans driving down the highway that at times they like pull apart from each other, so there's this gap in the middle that you can't access the other side, so you've got to make sure you get like all of the ingredients you need to the one side before it starts to split apart so you can assemble everything. And it's a blast.
That sounds absolutely
Dude, that sounds
chaotic.
Fun. That sounds like cooking for gang beasts.
That's not a bad way of putting it. Thankfully, though, it's a little more. You don't have to worry about what you're grabbing. You just run over to it, pick it up, and throw it down another place. And it doesn't.
Yeah, well, that's how any guy cooks, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it doesn't rely on the same kind of. Is physics the right word for gang beasts? In its magical
physics.
little wonders that it has.
Yeah,
like it's not all ragdoll physics.
No.
Yeah. But if you haven't tried it, definitely something to pick up. I think we were playing it till about 1:30 at night last night.
Oh, that sounds
and,
fun.
I'm usually in bed by about 7 or 8 because I work early in the morning. So it was.
Oh wow.
It was that good. We couldn't stop. Other than that, I mean, nothing really notable that I've been playing.
What about movies? You checked out any movies recently?
Oh, movies. There's a new one on Netflix that I want to see. Doesn't really help. I don't remember what it's called.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's that. You know what? I will look it up for you. What about yourself?
Right. I want to give a bit of context before I tell you what I've been watching, because you might be able to. You won't be able to guess it, but you might want to do it after I tell you. Right. So.
Oh, okay.
My background on my PC at the moment is you know Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
How it's that prism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where the prism is. It's Paul Blart's head.
Oh, okay.
It's called Blart Side of the Mall, right? It's something that I learned about this through a podcast, and I was like, I've got to do it. And what it is you take the entire album of Dark Side of the Moon and you watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and it syncs up perfectly.
What?
It's unfucking believable.
That's awesome.
The music, the music syncs with. So, like, have you seen Paul Blart 2?
No, I haven't.
No, well, there's basically like he goes to a mall cop convention and some shit like that, and it's like, you know, like police conventions where they've got a floor full of tactical gear and all this other kind of stuff and all that kind of crap.
Oh, okay.
And it's great because there's a track on Dark Side of the Moon called Money. You know, Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as they enter as soon as they enter this showroom, it kicks in instantaneously. Like the intro to Money kicks in, and it's so funny. It's just
okay.
basically every time something happens, a song on the album matches up with what's going on in his life. Like there's a bit where he's dancing on a Segway. I can't remember the name of the track, but it's got like that. Oh crap! I can't remember the name of the track, but it's got that like the opera singer who belts out that really long kind of vocal solo. Well, he's doing this dance on this Segway to show off his Segway skills, and just as he starts dancing, it kicks in with that woman doing the long vocal solo, and it's like super creepy.
That's
how
awesome.
It matches up, but like the album runs out, and if you have the album on repeat. There's a bit where like his daughter walks in on an art heist or some crap like that, and he's like, they ring him up and he's like, we've kidnapped your daughter or something like that, and he's like, right, I'm gonna go get geared up, and as soon as he steps back into the place where all the gear was, Money kicks on again, and it's like it's perfectly timed.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like it was creepy, man. It's like a religious experience. So I learned about that, and I was like, that can't be true.
Well,
and then I went
to try
and did
that
it
out because I find it a little
amazing.
hard to believe too, even with you talking about it.
Oh, dude, it is a religious experience, especially if you like Pink Floyd.
Well, I
that's what
believe
I
I
was doing.
found what I'm doing this evening. And I found the name of the movie. It's called The Package. It's
That's the movie you watched.
That sounds like porno.
I don't know. It's a late night comedy. It's absurd, raunchy, a bit goofy. About four, I think they're teenagers that go camping in the woods.
And it's called The Package.
The Package.
That is literally a porno.
I'm sure there's multiples.
4 teenagers going to the woods.
Oh God.
What about you, Neo? Any movies you've seen recently?
No, not particularly. I don't watch a hell of a lot of movies.
Why not?
I don't know. Just
because you hate fun. It's okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just a boring guy. There's nothing more to it.
Come on, what about TV? You not watch any TV shows?
I don't own live television.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Netflix, Amazon.
Oh, I have been watching. What's it called again?
The Office.
Cloak and Dagger.
I was close.
Any good?
They're very similar. I personally enjoy it. I quite enjoy the Marvel series.
What's
I'm a big fan of superheroes. Well, it's about two superheroes, Cloak and Dagger, and
it's the thing where like the black kid can turn invisible or he's dead or something like that.
Oh,
and the white
great! Now you just spoiled the whole thing.
The black kid can teleport, and the white chick throws.
No, I know.
Yeah, the black kid can teleport, and the white chick has light daggers, and that's all I can say without spoiling too much of the show in case you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, okay, no, I want to watch it, but I'm pretty sure like the reason the black kid can turn invisible is because teleport is because he's
because he's black.
Because he's dead.
Oh, okay. I completely got the wrong end of the stick.
How does the sound effect come across as because he's black?
I don't know. Black people kill people. I don't fucking know.
All right, let's get away from this. Jesus Christ.
So there's a website called Engadget.com, and they put out their own thing ranking the best and worst laptop brands. I'm assuming you guys own a laptop or have owned a laptop at some point in your life.
Nope.
Oh yes.
No.
No,
you've never had a laptop?
Desktop all the way, bro.
Well, you at least know the brands, though, don't you?
Mostly the same brands that make desktop parts, bro.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
All right. So they've ranked the best and worst brands of 2018. I was going to see if you guys can guess what might be the worst and what might be the best.
Dell worst, Toshiba best.
You think
Asus best.
So we've got Asus as the best. We've got Dell as the worst. Is that what? Is that what
I feel like there's going to be a lot of shitty ones I don't know, so I don't want to say the worst.
See, the thing is, I went swimming once, right, and I saw this Dell, and it was rolling in the deep, and I was like, oh, man, It looks like a shit laptop.
All right, well, take a guess. Each of you guess what you think the best brand for laptops is going to be. We've got one for one of you guys was saying Asus, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to vote for Asus. Asus possibly being one of the better laptop brands.
See, I thought Toshiba would be a good laptop, but isn't Toshiba not a laptop company or a computer company, but it's like a washing machine company or something?
Well, I know my grandpa had a Toshiba laptop, but I don't know if they still make laptops anymore.
I'd say Alienware then, is best.
You think Alienware?
Ooh.
Yeah, because
isn't Alienware just Dell though? So can you count that specifically?
Yeah, they would. Actually, that's true, isn't it? Aren't they Dell now?
Yeah, Alienware or Dell, yeah.
No, I had no idea. Well, I know that Alienware do some bitching like performance enhancing drugs for your computers.
Well,
performance enhancing drugs, yeah.
No.
I like that.
For your computers.
Have you guys ever heard of the brand Lenovo?
Yes, I know Lenovo, yeah.
No.
Okay, I've never heard of that brand before, but I guess they've ranked that as the number one brand for laptops.
Okay.
Dell is coming in third place.
Oh wow, okay. Is it not done by what they're good for, or is it just done by overall?
So they've got a whole bunch of they've got stuff marked through a pretty interesting way to do this, where they've got reviews, design, support and warranty, innovation, value and selection. Like they've got a whole bunch of different categories that they've added the points up together to get to these best brands. And yeah, Lenovo number one. We've got HP in for number two.
Dell... I can say HP is a very good. Like our computers in high school used to be HP, and they were amazing.
Yeah, that's what they had. We got a whole bunch of what do they call them? Like smart books.
Smart books.
Is that what it is? It's like all these really small laptops.
Notebook.
Yeah, the notebooks.
Oh, maybe they're notebooks. That's what it was. And yeah, we had a whole bunch of those. I think that was in like my grade 11 or grade 12, and I hadn't seen anything like that since. But yeah, sorry. Dell comes in at number third, and then we've got Acer at 4, Asus at 5. Going through a whole bunch of different ones, and then we have Samsung as the worst.
Samsung's the worst.
That being said, like the worst, they still got a 67%, which I mean, it's still a passing grade.
Well, fucking, they do shit phones as well.
Well, actually,
you, bro. Apple's horrible. Samsung's so much better.
I'd like to point out, I know Apple's horrible. I run a Microsoft phone.
Oh God, seriously? And you're gonna slate anyone's phone?
Dude, I don't use it. I have no friends. I don't need a phone. I just, it was like, there you go, have a phone so we can stay in contact with us. Okay.
The one thing that Samsung was beating the others at, though, was Samsung had the best tech support out of all.
I can see that.
That being said, everything else was terrible enough to have them in last place.
Well, they're not a Japanese company, are they?
That I'm not sure.
Yes, I think Samsung is Japanese.
Because I know Toshiba's Japanese.
Is it?
No, it's European. Samsung's European.
Samsung's European, right? Okay, I'm surprised they've got the best tech support then.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. What they went through all the different categories and to figure out what actually was the best brands. That being said, just because it's the best brand, it doesn't mean they have the best laptops. It's
best
just
laptops, yeah.
But the thing is though, couldn't you just like really cheat? Couldn't you be like, oh, I'm going to check out what's the best to worst laptop, find the worst laptop, and then buy it for dirt cheap, and then get a bunch of like replacement parts and make it better than the best one?
Well, why not just build the laptop then? Why?
That makes a lot more sense.
Because on laptops...
Although laptops are a lot less customizable, you can't.
Yeah, I was going to say
on
laptops,
a laptop.
Don't they have like different kind of motherboards?
There's limitations to how much you can customize your laptop.
It's simple. You just buy a desktop, and then you put it in your backpack, and then you just hook up a battery that's portable to the backpack, and you've got yourself the cheapest laptop you'll be able to have. That's still.
Did you not see? You might not remember this, but like back in 2005, I think there was a dude on YouTube who made the first portable desktop like computer. No, right? It's fucking hilarious. It's basically bits of like plywood that he's built like a frame that sits on his shoulders, right? That's got a desk kind of thing that it sits just like out, roughly at about, where his pecs would be. That he sticks.
No.
He's bolted his desktop monitor to, and then on his back, he's got the desktop tower with a power supply. And it's all connected up, and it's like a joke version of the first portable desktop computer.
No.
And it's
like back in 2005?
It's like 2000. Yeah, it's back when the internet was, still new.
Still just about the internet.
I'll see if I can find that video, and I'll have to throw it down in the comment, or not the comments, in the description below.
In the description,
that way people can see
it's a funny ass. It's literally like it's like a big fat guy. He walks out of his garage wearing this thing, wearing basically a computer poncho. It's just so funny.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to checking that out then. As well, if you can ever find it.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I'll try and find it.
I just tried googling it, and nothing came up on the first couple of pages.
It was, but you got to remember, it was that long ago. It might have been destroyed.
That is possible. Although I doubt if it was made by 2x4s, it was structurally
like
sound enough to last this long.
Oh yeah, it was like wood and L brackets and all this kind of shit.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Oh yeah. Distributed the weight evenly. Perfect.
So since our last podcast, there's been a few notable new games that have come out. Some of them, I'm pretty sure you guys have at least heard of most of these. Do you guys know of Death's Gambit?
No.
No. What about Phantom Doctrine?
Phantom Doctrine.
Are you making these names up?
I'm not.
Isn't that just the American political system?
What about? Did you guys? Well, maybe you guys have heard of this. The Walking Dead, the Telltale series.
Oh, okay, I know that.
They got the final season. The final season of that has started, and they got episode 1 that came out. I'm sure you guys have heard of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, they got the new expansion.
Yeah, the Battle for Azeroth, which I haven't played it myself. I think the highest I ever made it to was like level 55, and I think I just made it into the first expansion.
I don't like paying monthly, so I won't play World of Warcraft.
See, I used to be a WoW player back when nobody fucking knew what it was. So like, not when it originally came out, because I probably wasn't born then. But like, maybe like 2007, I joined WoW, and then I stopped playing WoW because I got really bored with it, and then I rejoined just about the time that the Mohawk grenade came out.
Nice.
So I created a new account because I couldn't remember my old one. Joined on, walked out of like the spawn area. Someone hit me with a Mohawk grenade. I was like, right, I'm not playing this anymore.
Nice. So of all of us here, Neo, I'm surprised you haven't heard of Death's Gambit. So it's a very it's like a 2D side scroller, but it's very like Souls-like in comparison. You're this agent of death bound to death service, and you have to unravel this mystery, going through fighting all these different things and discovering the true price of immortality. And
dude, you got me curious now.
It looks really cool. It's supposed to be a fairly challenging game, I believe. I mean, its reviews have been nothing but stellar for it as well. It's got like it's supposed to have this expansive world where you can travel across, like it's saying here, beautifully rendered Obsidian Vale, Witchwood, Sanguine City, and more. There's character classes, incredible bosses, non-linear exploration, character customization, heroic mode, a bunch of different things. Like it really seems like the kind of game that's
I'm looking at it now, and it looks absolutely awesome. I can't wait to buy this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard about it.
This is amazing. No, I haven't. Although it has mixed reviews on Steam. I'm not really sure what that's all about, because it looks awesome.
Oh, do you know what it now?
Do you know what it reminds me of?
What does it remind you of?
Castlevania.
Oh,
yeah, it does kind of give off a bit of that feeling.
I mean, it's a lot more detailed than Castlevania ever was. But
Dude,
Castlevania,
this looks beautiful.
I know. I'm looking at it. See, perks of having an iPad. I can just like you don't have to hear me, clicking and shit. 'Cause I've got an iPad. Oh, this game actually does really good. I might get this.
So you guys, I'm sure, have heard of XCOM, right?
Yeah, XCOM.
Do not talk to me about XCOM.
Why not?
Do you want to know why not, or do you like? Is that a legitimate question?
I do kind of want to know.
Oh right, I was playing XCOM 2 for free because it was on the PS4, and I was like,
yeah,
bitching, let's do this shit. And I was like, wow, I was winning, I was kicking some, alien ass. And then I had a ranger. I was like, you're the best ranger ever. You wear a trilby. Let's go do this. And then he had a 99% chance to hit someone. Literally stood next to them and missed, and I was like, what?
Well, yeah, it's a 99% chance.
Yeah.
How many times do you shoot in that game? Eventually you're going to get that 99% miss.
Oh no, this is the thing. All my other people, they will hit. They might not do like a lot of damage, but like I've built their weapons and their stats in a way that means that they will always hit. Like maybe once or twice they don't miss, right? But a ranger who's point blank range with a shotgun and a sword, with the melee, has got like a melee move where if he misses, he will do another attack, and misses both of the attacks on 99% with the critical chance, basically making it 100%, and he goes, miss.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. There's a couple different mechanics and like different character or creatures that when you're fighting, there is like a 100% chance miss rate in under certain circumstances. So maybe that's what it was. I couldn't tell you for sure. But if that's the part that makes you not want to talk about the game, then
no, I'm kidding. I love the game.
That's some serious salt. That's some serious salt.
So the second game I brought up, the Phantom Doctrine, it's a very XCOM styled game. Except this one takes place in the Cold War, and it's more about going through as your spies trying to sneak your way through and complete different missions. So you're taking more of a stealthy-like approach. But one of the really neat features that it's added to their take on the turn-based strategy type genre here is they have, because you know how in XCOM they have like there's the Overwatch feature. That lets you kind of attack anything that goes to move on their turn. Did you ever play XCOM 1?
I never played XCOM. I've only seen bits of it.
So in XCOM 1, it was the opposite way, where you were always like sneaking up or like making way up to the aliens. Then when you encountered them, then they would all get their action where they all kind of run out and do your attacks against you. And then in the second XCOM, once you'd start out in this stealth mode, and once you made it into range of them, then they'd notice you and they'd go and attack. And what Phantom Doctrine's done is it's added in a neat little feature where I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I think it's something along the lines of like storm the room. So you can have it set up so that you decide, okay, there's this door here. I'm going to have all my guys go in there. And so you set it up so that all three of them kind of act at the same time. They all burst their way in through the door and take their shots and do their actions, which is really kind of neat.
You're talking like in XCOM 2 where you can put people in positions while you're still in stealth mode, like Overwatch, and then as soon as one person attacks, the alien moves, and they immediately take effect.
Yeah, but in this case, you actually have it so they all storm into the room. They take their actions together, so they'll run in together, go to the position, like the location you want them to set at, and then do their actions in there, which is kind of cool.
So it gives you more of a setup.
Is it made by... Because I'm looking at it now, is this made by the same people who make XCOM?
No, this one's made by Creative Forge Games. I believe one of the guys had worked on, he had worked on Hard West. Hard West was another XCOM styled
it
game.
Does kind of look like a reskin of XCOM.
To a point. I know the guy one of the developers of XCOM has gone out. He's making his own very similar to XCOM styled game where I'll see if I can find it. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Well, I know something that I can see that has changed, which is the way you set out your characters. Because I'm looking at it right now, and they've got 1, 2, 3. They've got 5 slots, whereas in XCOM you've got 3. Well, you've got 5 altogether, but one of them's taken up by your armor, one of them's taken up by your weapon. So then you can have like 2 grenades and something else like a med kit. This looks like you can have a weapon, a sidearm, armor, medkit, and grenade. So I might get this. Is this out now?
It is.
What's it on?
Yes, it's on offer 10% on Steam. 10% offer.
Is
10% off on Steam.
Is it on PS4?
That I don't know. I believe it is on PS4.
I
Phantom
would not be
Doctrine,
able to
I'm
play this.
pretty sure it's on PS4 and Xbox. I don't think it's on the
it
Wii
is.
U. Or, sorry, I don't think it's on the Switch.
Yeah, I would not be able to play this on my PC. It's that crap.
So, the other game, it's called Phoenix Point, which one of the lead designers actually was the one who created the XCOM franchise. And he's got his own turn-based tactical game. It seems kind of also similar to XCOM, except what was kind of neat is the only video that I've seen of it so far is there's this big, massive, giant alien, and you watch as like your character, I believe it's a sniper. Instead of like scrolling through targets and locations to hit, you actually like move your reticule around and you like point at the spot you want to shoot at it, and then it highlights different limbs, and it's kind of neat, a different approach that it's taken for that too.
So it's got like a VAT system.
Yeah, so Phantom Doctrine is, Phoenix Point's another one to check out.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. It's like Doom and XCOM mixed together. It's pretty awesome. With a
of
bit
all
of
of
Dead Space.
Yeah, yes, that as well. But of all of the new games that have released since the last podcast, have you guys heard of State of Mind?
Yeah, no, I've had State of Mind.
Yes, I think.
Because that one, I would say I'm probably the most excited to try out. Do you guys know much about it?
No, not really.
So it's got this really neat geometry type art style, where you can see like it's not very it's not kind of like how you see the modern like realistic style games where it's like the faces are beautiful, you can look and see their pores, it all looks kind of natural and
it's
round.
more like that sort of Fortnite look, isn't it?
No, it's if you ever watched in a Scanner Dark, I think it's in a Scanner Darkly with Keanu Reeves, where it's all rotoscoped. It looks like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So in State of Mind, you play as Richard Nolan. He's this journalist that openly criticized the development of drones, humanoid robots, and other technologies that the government and different companies are developing. And in doing so, he gets himself involved in this kind of worldwide conspiracy. And the game looks like it really tries to explore the idea of what could happen as technology blurs the lines between dystopian reality and a digital utopia. And it just looks so exciting. Something really nice and fresh. I mean, it's kind of heading in a direction of what we've seen before with like futuristic styled games, but it seems to be taking a nice fresh approach to it.
So it sounds like a poor man's Detroit Become Human.
I guess you could say that.
But at the same time, it
by
looks a lot
the
better.
way you're describing it, it sounds like it tackles different problems though, because with Detroit Becomes Human, it was more about like morality
racism. No, it's
yeah,
racism all the way.
Well, yeah, I suppose racism. Yeah, it's
literally.
sense of it.
It's just
Yeah,
I watched it.
It is.
Apparently, State of Mind explores themes of separation, disjuncture, and reunification in a world torn between a dystopian material reality and a utopian virtual reality.
Yes,
whatever that
it
means.
does. I think what also gets me excited is State of Mind is made by Daedalic Entertainment, and they're the guys that have made games like Deponia. They've done The Pillars of the Earth. What's a few other ones? I believe they also did The Long Journey Home. So they've done a lot of really good kind of, I want to say story-driven games that just kind of makes me really excited to try it out.
Does look interesting.
I
would play it.
Oh, go for it.
No, I would play it. I mean, I wouldn't play it constantly, but it does look like a game I could, it'd probably make me have to think too much, which is not something I like doing in video games. Like, I played Detroit Become Human, and I was just like, this is so fucking pretentious, it's unbelievable. Seriously.
Why do you say that?
It was just some of the, like...
Also, don't give any spoilers. I'll quickly say that.
No, I won't say anything about the story, but some of the stuff you have to do in the game, if you had that choice in real life, it would not have an outcome that would benefit either side. And then in the game, it's like, choose between this or this, and you're like, what about the third option where, it benefits both people? It's like, what's the fucking point?
Aren't there a lot of options though in that game that you're kind of choosing between a terrible and a worse than terrible
No.
option?
You are literally choosing between the terrible option and the terrible option. It's just if it benefits humanity or if it benefits the robots. Why isn't there an option to benefit both robots and humanity?
I think that's
that kind
the point.
of the point. It's trying to make, that's the point of the game.
Yeah, but the point of the game is completely and utterly like just blown out of proportion when it would have taken like what, 5 robots, 3 blokes, an army, and this entire thing could be sorted out. You could sit you sit the robots in a circle that has the army pointing at them in case they go bad. Have the 3 blokes come in and go, what would you like? We've discovered that you become sentient. What would you like? We'd like this. Well, we might have to compromise you on this. Plus, if you want to be actual sentient beings, you have to think about getting jobs and families and all this other kind of stuff. How are you going to do that? How are you going to support yourself? Right?
I mean, I see your
Doesn't that
point.
imply that whoever this is dealing with them has to give up some of their resources to something they created? Like, it's a sense.
Well, no, because the robots don't have to eat or sleep.
Yeah, but you need to take into consideration that the issue here is they're not being seen as equals, and so they're not being treated as equals. What you're saying is, hey, the solution is to stop being so ignorant, which is kind of the point of the story.
And I will say this, spontaneous. There's a little bit of a spoiler right here, so you can cover your ears if you want.
Okay.
There's a bit in the game where you basically have like a peace march, right? So all the robots join you. It's so beautiful. All the humans are looking on, going, the robots are finally doing it. They're becoming their own people. And then the cops turn up, and it's like, right, okay, you have 3 options: run, die, or fight. And I'm like, what?
But I mean, that's kind of what happens in protests. Well, I mean, not to that same degree, but that's generally how protests are seen as well nowadays. When anything, man, this is dangerous. We're getting into like a huge political conversation.
I see. The thing is, I don't want to spoil the game for you either.
Yeah.
So I'll just say that Detroit Become Human tried to make a point that it just kind of lost its way. It started making a good point at the beginning of the game, then kind of lost its way halfway through. Tried to get it back, and then ultimately failed. To the point where it was just completely and utterly pointless, and it's like its own head had gone up its arse, out of its throat, and it was talking again. It was just really.
So
weird.
you
I would
finished
disagree.
the game.
I think.
So you finished the game?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I finished the game on all the, like, you know how in like Mass Effect you can be good, bad, or neutral. I did all 3 versions of the game.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of when I finish playing this game, we're gonna have to sit down and talk about it again then, so I can kind of see from your perspective a bit more after I've played it.
That'll be fun. That'll be an interesting one. Don't get me wrong. Good game. Good game. It's just some of the decisions that you have to make in the game are just pointless.
Yeah, and sorry, Neo, there I interrupted you when you were going to say something.
It's fine. I kind of forgot what I was thinking anyway.
Oh man, I forget we're even. Somehow we got there from State of Mind. That's right.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that game.
See, I think the only game out of the ones we've just talked about that I will actually be like focusing on is the spy XCOM thing, the Phoenix, not Phoenix, was it Phoenix?
Phantom Doctrine.
Phantom Doctrine, that's it.
Yeah, that one looks kind of neat. It'll be interesting to see the different choices that they've gone with the game.
Well, it looks like Cold War-esque.
Yeah, because that's the time it takes. Sorry, it takes place during
I love
the Cold War.
like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and all that. I love those like Cold War movies. Like what's it called? The Man from U.N.C.L.E. That is one of my favorite movies.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like basically the Americans and the KGB team up to stop like Nazis in like. It's a very funny movie. It's got Superman in it and a Russian bloke. I want to say Colin Firth, but I don't think it's Colin Firth. It's all spy kind of stuff, and it's funny because he's like, there's a bit where they're like trying to break into this kind of like operation by cutting through a fence, and he's like, I've got the Americans got these wire cutters, and he's like snip snip snip, and the Russian's just like, I can do this, pulls out a laser, and he's just like, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful.
Nice.
Good movie, Man from U.N.C.L.E. Good movie.
I will have to add that to my to-watch list. Those are kind of the 5 games that we brought up there. Those are a bit more of the well-known kind of made by kind of the developers that are a bit higher up there. Those that are more on the general radar of most of the industry. But I was scrolling through the We won't spend much time talking about these, but just four little, I think, potential hidden gems that I noticed out on Steam that came out. I believe, they're all just little indie games. But number one, if you guys have some time, check out The Adventures of Mr. Fluffykins. That one looks pretty sweet. It's like this little 3D adventure platformer game. That's kind of the vibe I was getting from it. There's Mind Over Mushroom, which seems to be a bit of a puzzle game. We've got Drunk Foo Wasted Masters, which looks like a pretty interesting little kind of beat 'em up. I think it's a couch co-op fighter. And then there was Evergarden, which I believe that one was also another kind of puzzle, not platformer, but like an actual puzzle game. So those were four of the ones that kind of piqued my interest. I've thrown all four of those down on my wish list. So if you guys have some free time, those might be, and some extra money that's burning a hole in your pocket, those might be some games to check out. Any games you guys have seen recently that you're kind of like, oh man, I gotta check this out, or anything on your wish list that you're still kind of craving to buy?
Frostpunk.
Frostpunk.
Do you know anything about it, or?
I finally tried it.
Any good?
I refunded it. Not because it's a bad game. It's a really good game. But because I love that style of game. I love the idea of having, like, building your base, doing the survival, all the micromanagement stuff. But Frostpunk is one where it's always kind of beating you down. There rarely is there a moment where you kind of get to that point where just like you feel comfortable. You're like, okay, I've got a moment to relax. I've got a moment to kind of think about what's going to go on next. But Frostpunk, it's always just it's always got its hammer, and it's always trying to hit you in a different location.
That actually sounds really fun.
That being said, like I think it's a good game. It's designed really well, and you really feel like you're a part of the situation that's going on there. It was just I couldn't handle it. I was looking for something a bit more on the casual side, and it was too much for me.
Yeah. Well,
have you guys heard of Rend?
Of Ren?
Rend, R-E-N-D.
Is that the? It's kind of like a 3D adventure, bit more of an exploration type game.
It's sort of like Rust and Ark and them sort of things, where it's one of those survivalist games. Except this one, it like pits you in like a PvP sort of scenario where there's 3 different factions when you load in, and the objective is to collect these. They're like little wisps or something. I can't remember what they're called. And whoever collects them all wins. And there's certain events that happens throughout the lifetime of the game. So these games tend to last like, I think they said like 2 to 4 months or something.
Oh, okay.
So it sort of puts a twist on your conventional survival type game, and it puts it in a PvP environment. I thought it looked super cool. I'm super excited to check it out. It's in alpha or beta at the moment, so it's not quite there yet. But when that comes out, that's definitely something I want to check out.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. It's made by Frostkeep Studios. Looks like Ren's the first game that they've gone to make, and yeah, it does give off a. It looks kind of like its art style is a bit of a cross between what would it be, like Ark and Dauntless. It's kind of
It definitely looks like Dauntless, except in an Ark world.
Yeah, I mean, like it looks really cool. I'm not seeing anything about these wisps here that you're talking about, but it looks like you choose among the 3 rival factions, and then you build your faction stronghold, battle foes, and brutal creatures.
Yeah, so basically to win the game, you have to collect a certain amount of these wisps, and you can like go and attack the enemy during certain stages and like damage their tree and something and steal their wisps. So that's how you get each game to finish.
Oh, okay.
It looks really cool. I think it's a really nice twist on the survival genre. I've never seen anything like it, and I really enjoyed the idea of doing, because like the clans are 20 people sizes at the moment, which I'd like to see a bit bigger, because from what I've seen, there's usually only like 4 to 8 people on, unless there's an event happening in which you might get more people on.
Oh, okay.
But if you could have like maybe the full 10v10 or 20v20 going into like big battles and stuff, for the wisps and that. I think it'd be like a really cool thing to experience.
Yeah.
Especially considering they have like a skill system as well. So like, what you do in the game, you get better at. So like, if you make bows, you get better at making bows. If you fight with a sword, you get better at fighting with a sword. So you really have to pour time into your craft, and you really have to assign jobs to different individuals. So it is very team orientated. It's something that we're quite excited to see, something that have some nice communities around it.
Do you know if that's something that lasts between games, or is it when you start like a new server, you start over again with that stuff?
It's when you start a new server, it'll restart. But because like the servers reset at certain times, when a game's done, the server will reset, and then you'll get in to a new one. It's likely that you'll be with similar people because the game will end for them as well, and then they'll hop into a new game at the same time as you because that server will reset. So you tend to be with the same sort of people from what I've seen of the game.
Oh, okay. But so your skills and everything, those
don't carry over. It's reset every game. Every game it's new. You start fresh. You're just there with your fucking rock and your fist.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. I'm looking at some of the screenshots here for the game, and they couldn't have chosen a better art style to go with this. Like there's one of the first screenshots on their Steam page. It's like this beautiful. These guys are standing on top of a hill and they're looking out over to this world, and it's like this beautiful forest that kind of stretches out into this clearing, and then behind it you see these super tall towering mountains and these like floating chunks of rock in the distance. Oh man!
How big are the teams?
It's 20 v20, but not everyone's going to be on at the same time because, you know, different people, different lives. So it tends to be about 4 to 8 people on at a time, unless there's an event happening in which you might get a few more people on.
And it is.
I personally would like to see them increase the amount of players you can get on there. I think it'd be more enjoyable with bigger groups at a time. So maybe like set it to like 30v30 or 30v30 or 40v40. I can't seem to say that for some reason.
Are we talking like a big ass map?
Yeah, the map is fairly big. Yeah, it's. Oh, I'm trying to think of a comparison, but I can't really come up with anything off the top of my head.
Well, it looks like it's still in early access too.
Yeah, it is still in early access. That's what I said at the beginning. It's still alpha or beta. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
There's still a lot of changes happening to the game, so that's why I've held off from buying it. At the moment, I've just been following it on other YouTube's pages.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like me with Daisy.
Well, it doesn't say anything about the actual size of the map. If anybody knows, then please let us know in the comments below. That would be appreciated. It would be neat to see actually how big the map is, because, I mean, with it being early access, $33 for me, Canadian, is a little bit out of my price range.
Yeah,
33.
It's quite expensive.
$33 Canadian. How much is that American?
It's probably what, 25.
It's 23 for me, so maybe $27 for you.
So that's like what, 21 in pounds?
Oh no! It's £23. I'm also British.
Yeah, I know, but I thought you were talking like 23 in American then. That's not bad. That's for what it's talking about. So like massive map, and you know 20v20v20, but you know you'd only have 20v20v20 at the beginning of the game when everyone joins in. So that'd actually be pretty interesting.
So the last thing I've got on here for the podcast for today, I thought this would also be kind of neat. The website Game Informer, they went through, they looked at all of the games that are upcoming for like the rest of the year, so that what games will have access to purchase when the holiday season comes. So they've made a whole bunch of lists and basically said, okay, if you go to buy all of this, this is how much it's going to cost you for the whole total thing. So can you guess, holiday season, how much money you'll be spending if you purchase all of the remakes and remasters that are coming out this season?
For what? For any game or
for any game, like any console? Like basically, this is like all the consoles, all the stuff. I mean, this is like one copy of each as well.
Oh right. It depends what they're remastering. If they're remastering games that came like. So
this is like of all the games that are like scheduled to be released this year. If you were to, when Christmas comes, if you were to go and purchase each and every one of them that came out this year, that were a remake or a remaster.
Is this in British or American?
I believe it's an American.
Okay,
that makes this a bit more difficult.
No, because altogether, I'd say close to 2,500.
Ooh, I'm thinking about 700, maybe. Wow, I'm thinking about 700. Yeah, 700. I'm gonna say.
All right, so they've actually got on here. It's only gonna be $320.
Oh wow, fucking high.
320. Okay. Yeah, I went a bit high as well.
Because they've got on the list here. There's Okami for the Switch, Shenmue 1 and 2, Monster Hunter Generations, the Yakuza 2, Spyro Reignited, and then the new both Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That's what they've got on here for all their remakes and remasters.
Oh, okay.
Is that all of them for this year?
Yeah, I thought it'd be more.
Yeah, I thought there was more as well.
That's what I would think too. Let me double check this. So they've got their... Oh, so this is for the final 5 months of the year.
Right, okay.
So that was my bad. It's not the whole year. It's the final 5 months of the year.
Okay.
So out of fighting games, RPGs, shooters, and sports, what do you think you'd be spending the most on?
RPGs.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm an RPG lover through and through.
Until Christmas now, the only game I'm actually getting is Fallout 76.
Nice. Of the three, can you guess which is the lowest?
Sports. No.
Oh God, no! Sports
games.
Jesus Everyone plays sports games. Fucking FIFA, Maiden. Yeah, I'm also thinking fighter.
You're thinking fighters?
Yeah, both of us.
All right. So of the four of those, RPGs are coming in. So for the last 5 months of the year, if you were to buy every single one copy of every RPG that came out, you'd be spending $1,100.
Damn.
The next one down the line is sports at $420. Bit of a difference there.
Blaze it.
And then we got fighting at $330, and then shooters at $270.
Wow. Okay, I thought shooters would be at least.
I suppose there's only a few shooters that really dominate the market, whereas there are quite a few fighters out there.
Yeah, you don't see too many shooters coming out anymore, except for there's a lot of indie shooters that are being developed and coming out there.
Not many people want to take on shooters because it's so hard to make money there. I know I don't want to tackle Battlefield or COD. That's a losing battle.
Oh yeah.
So
Black Ops 4 is it that's coming out this year?
Is it number 4?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many of them. It's hard to keep track of it.
Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5, isn't it?
That sounds about right. So between PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch, for those last PS4. 5 months, you think the PS4 is gonna have the most?
Yep.
Most value that you'll be spending?
How much are they? How much? I don't know how much they will cost.
Well, I mean, most consoles kind of their games cost around the same now, where it's like what?
Oh, is this for the games? Okay, yeah. I think PS4.
And PS4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So spending the most coming in for PlayStation 4 is $2,795.
Damn.
If you were to buy all of the games on the PlayStation 4, that's how much you'd be spending for the last 5 months. For the Xbox One, it's $2,245, and then for the Switch, it's $1,417. One thing to keep in mind is with all this stuff too, this is all. Game Informer has kind of passed over games that don't have a listed price yet. They've just gone with everything with a rough price that's been listed.
That makes sense.
So here's my question for you. So Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, they all have their own exclusive games. For that last 5 months, who do you think you'd be spending more money on if you purchased all of their exclusives?
Xbox.
Nintendo have a lot of exclusives.
True.
And I'm not really sure about the prices for the Switch. I don't own a Switch, so I'm not really sure the prices for their games.
Games for the Switch are coming in roughly about the same as PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, they do have other smaller games that are that come in for like the indie games, but I don't believe they're counting indie titles.
I'm gonna go with the PS4 and then the Switch and then the Xbox
for exclusives.
Yeah,
for exclusives for the.
I don't know, because it's like Xbox has always kind of dominated PS4 with the exclusives, with
and until this until this console they've kind of sucked.
But then again, the Switch has got pretty much every game that Nintendo has, and most of them haven't gone over to PS4 or Xbox.
See, it's a question of quantity. They have so many, but the question is, like, do they have them coming up, or?
Yeah, alright, I will go. It's for the last 5 months, isn't it?
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to go Xbox, PS4, Switch.
Alright, so of the three, coming in with the most is Nintendo at $420.
Ooh. They have so many, that's why. I knew it. I knew it.
Coming in second is Sony at $290.
Right, so I was right, but in the opposite order. So if I swapped Xbox and...
So you were wrong.
Like, I got PS4 right. It was dead center.
So according to all the information that Game Informer has, can you guess how much you'd be spending on exclusives for Microsoft?
I don't know.
For the last 5 months?
I'm thinking between 150 200.
I'm gonna go 300 to 350.
So Microsoft, for all the information that Game Informer has for exclusives coming out, $60.
Really? Really?
It got.
What, is it just one game?
Forza Horizon 4. And its release date is October 2nd.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure Microsoft's going to come out with some more.
I knew they were doing bad, but come on. They really
terrible.
have been sucking recently.
But I mean, this article came out today, actually. 10:55 this morning. And of all the information that Game Informer has, that's what they've got at this time. I mean, I'm sure it's going to change when we get closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
But...
well, no, it shouldn't, because this is like the time of the year when they will announce them for Christmas, so people will buy them at Christmas.
They'll announce in this quarter, so we've got maybe a month within this month or next month.
Let's say end of September.
And I mean, in all fairness, Microsoft did some great things with Xbox during their E3, where they kept saying, like, we've got so many exclusives, but a lot of the exclusives they even listed during E3 were ones that were exclusive for a period of time and then were going to be released on everything else.
Yeah, I bet State of Decay 2 weren't one of them.
See, but State of Decay 2, that one came out a while ago, didn't it?
It came out this year, but the thing is, State of Decay 2 is not on PS4 or the Switch. It's Xbox and PC, and it's bugging me.
Yeah, that one is exclusive for...
And it bugs me, because I want to play it, but I can't run it on here, and I own a PS4 and on an Xbox One. So...
Did you ever play State of Decay, the first one?
Yes, and I loved it.
Then you basically don't need to worry about State of Decay 2. It's like State of Decay, but with a much-needed expansion. It's not worth the price of a full game, in my opinion.
I'd never buy it for a full game. I'd probably steal it off someone. I don't know. 5-finger discount.
So the AAA, all of the AAA titles that are going to be coming out in total, they've got $625 if you were to buy all of them for the last 5 months. And then they also did a final list here of all the notable games. So this is if you were to buy every featured like notable game that's come from like bigger companies that are well known, as well as just developers that are kind of respected and trusted within the industry. And if you were to buy every single one of those games that come out within the last 5 months during Christmas, you'd be spending $3,800.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of money.
I wouldn't buy that for $1.
I wish I was a rich person.
It's ridiculous looking at all the prices for that kind of stuff. Just thinking about how expensive this hobby actually is.
Yeah. People don't appreciate
the most
it.
expensive hobby there is out there.
Next
Well,
to
I wouldn't say the
cracking
most
hookers.
expensive.
Although it can be the cheapest as well. Like if you could just get a PC and then just play indie games forever.
You know what? Tell you what. For next podcast, I will find out what the most expensive hobbies are, and we'll compare them to gaming here.
Okay, sweet.
Do we have any speculations for what we think are going to be them? I'm going to say Warhammer's going to be one of the top ones.
Crack.
Crack.
Warhammer.
Crack's not a hobby.
Yeah, it is.
As in
Drugs. Drugs are a hobby, man.
All right, tell you what. I'll write down crack, and I'll have it so I
John.
find out how much a crack addiction is roughly going to cost you, and we'll compare that to gaming as well.
It could be, crack or, weed or whatever, or hookers.
All right, we're gonna end with crack there. And Neo, do you have any guesses on what'll be on one of the top lists?
I'm really trying to think here, but like there's so many. Maybe like dancing, maybe like ballet. You can get some really expensive ballet courses.
So ballet as a hobby, you're gonna say that that's pretty expensive?
I'm gonna say ballet is a very
All right,
expensive
I'm gonna
hobby.
find out for you. But I have a feeling that you're not gonna fare too well compared to this. Who knows though?
Yeah, I think gaming's way more expensive than ballet, but it matters what ballet classes you're doing and what games you're playing. Like there's all these things. I bet you I can find $1,000 ballet course.
I bet you I can find you $1,000 game.
All right. Well, with that, we're pretty much out of time here for the podcast. So thank you, Neo, and thank you. What was it? Lord something Bob. Sexy Lord Bob and Neo. Thank you for joining me for the podcast today here on Game, and I look forward to having you guys joining us again sometime soon.
And I look forward to you having me again.
So if anybody here wants to catch the podcasts, it comes out every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. If you're in the same time zone as Neo, then it's not going to be 2 p.m. because his time zone's messed up and it doesn't make any sense. So.
Excuse me, it's your time zone that's messed up. Don't even try me. You Canadians have retarded time zones.
All right, thanks, guys.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Trying to bring in that fake Canadian time.